I'm Jacob E. Miles, licensed associate real estate broker at Brown Harris Stevens. We serve clients in New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Florida, and throughout the country and the world through our affiliations with leading real estate companies of the world and luxury portfolios. We're very proud and pleased to be able to serve clients everywhere through fantastic service. I'm here today with Madelaine Mayer, who is a registered architect. She's a member of the American Institutes of Architects, a lead accredited professional, faculty, a professor at NYU and the School of Interior Design, and a business owner of Adroit. Now, what is Adroit, Madelaine?
Adroit is an architecture and interior design studio, and the name stands for Architecture and Design to Reinvent, Organize, Inspire, and Transform.
Makes sense. A mouthful, but fantastic. And a great acronym too, because it highlights all of your areas of expertise, education, background, and service that you provide to the client.
Thank you.
So we're thrilled to have you here today. Before we get started with some of Madelaine's words on this particular apartment, let me tell you where we are. So we're at 240 East 35th Street, apartment 11A, that has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 2 private terraces. Over 500 square feet of private outdoor space. Speaking a little bit about the market right now, we're in August 2020. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel on jacobemiles.com, thank you. But as of June 22nd, we were allowed to see clients again, masked if we're indoors, of course, and all by appointment only. But the demand hasn't come back yet. So we have supply, we have sellers and landlords who are interested in transacting with property, but the buyers and the tenants are not here. And so that's put downward pressure on prices. Part of the reasons include, well, work from home, or work from wherever, I guess, these days remotely. And many offices, office buildings are basically closed or have severe and strict limitations in terms of what percentage of the staff can actually be in the office at the same time. So that's one. Entertainment, things that people would pay up for, to live in New York City for the special New York City lifestyle. Entertainment is closed, indoor dining is closed, basically. Outdoor dining, not so much today, it's a beautiful day, but it can be very hot and humid, in New York City. So for various reasons, people temporarily are choosing not to pay up, not to necessarily be in the city now and stay with friends, family, or rent something outside of the city where it might be less expensive. So that's currently the case right now with the Manhattan market. But for this particular apartment, 11A, that has plenty of outdoor space, private outdoor space, where you can socially distance or certainly be by yourself and be comfortable, this apartment may bridge that gap. And so, Madelaine, what ideas do you have for the outside?
Absolutely. As you said, there's so much private outdoor space in this apartment. 1 of 2 terraces, 35 feet long, nearly 10 feet deep. I think this is larger than my first New York City apartment completely. So I'm standing right below this really fantastic bright orange awning, which sets the scene for the perfect outdoor living room. Shade when you want it, sun when you don't. There's plenty of room as we move across the terrace to have outdoor dining.
Right.
So table that can easily seat anywhere from 6 to 10 people, maybe a gate leg table that can fold up and store away against the back wall, so you maybe have an outdoor exercise area when you're not entertaining. And still more room where you can have a whole barbecue station.
Yeah.
Additionally, these are some of my favorite balcony railings. Are they beautiful? No. But do they provide infrastructure for your own improvements? Yes. 4 rows of rails where you can interweave fairy lights, ivy, place flower boxes. This space has so much potential to transform it into anything you want it to be.
And electricity too. So we have electricity, we have water,
yes.
Potentially gas, and so we could use Christmas tree lights perhaps here.
Definitely.
Candles, of course, within a globe or some kind of a votive covering. But certainly landscaping, plants.
Definitely. This is a gardener's paradise for the city out here with a direct water connection. You can irrigate anything. Again, having that awning, you can have some half sun, half shade plants that otherwise wouldn't be available.
Yeah.
You can just take a nap in your little urban garden and call it a day.
Could a hammock work there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A hammock would be great.
Fantastic, great. Well, why don't we head inside and look at some of the bedrooms and then continue on through the apartment.
Sounds great.
Thanks. All right, so now we're in the master bedroom, which is just off that large terrace. We're masked and socially distanced, of course, with the novel coronavirus. But Madelaine, what ideas would you have for the master bedroom?
Well, first, let's just say this is a terrific size for a master bedroom in New York City. Tons of space, great light, interesting details with the crown molding, great find. So not too much work to do in here. One thing that I would build out in here is the radiator enclosure under the windows. By building out something that's a little deeper, still creating a platform, still having a grill in the front, top and bottom for radiator functionality, we can add a little storage on each side, but also put down cushions and have a lovely window bench for seating. So a really nice value add.
Excellent.
In terms of furniture placement, I think this wall is the logical place for the bed.
Right.
This way you're still getting light coming in from both these gorgeous picture windows and from the glass door to the terrace.
But not direct light
But
in your
not
face.
direct
Exactly.
light. So nice and easy, gentle light, night table on each side, and probably a long, low dresser opposite the bed to supplement all of the amazing hanging storage in the walk-in closet. Also a great place for a TV so that you could fall asleep or curl up watching a movie.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
really great master bedroom.
And some TVs can even show a painting or something as a screensaver, you know,
Absolutely.
so they can serve as artwork as well.
Absolutely. You could even, I've seen, put a frame around it and some other artwork so it's just part of a gallery wall.
There you
and
go.
just masquerades as a TV.
Exactly. Perfect, perfect. All right. Well, how about the master bathroom then?
So coming into the master bath, you have a really generous walk-in shower. Spacious, there's a double shower head, lovely experience. However, there's no bathtub, which for some people, they might really want a bathtub.
Spa bathtub too, jets and everything to relax, a jacuzzi.
If you're gonna do it, go big. That being said, there is an opportunity, and we'll see this a little further when we move deeper into the apartment,
Right.
to recapture some space on this side of the bathroom, losing nothing in your bedroom, to put in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Flip the swing of the door so it swings against the shower as opposed to into the middle of the space.
Got it.
And you have a win-win, a standalone spa shower and whirlpool tub.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Makes sense. Should we look at the walk-in closet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we are in the walk-in with mirror to check our hair. Coming in here, we have hanging bars on two sides. We have some shelf storage and some shoe storage on the back wall. What I like the most about this closet is that it's completely customizable. Instead of the previous owners just building out what they needed, they put in these great runner tracks up against the walls,
Right.
where you can clip in and move a component modular system.
Yeah.
So you can really make this whatever you want. So if you're someone who has a million suits and is fashionable like yourself, unlimited hanging option.
Right.
If you're someone who lives more of a jeans and t-shirt lifestyle, just add more shelves to infill and you have shelves for your t-shirts.
Yes.
Anything you want it to be.
And a lot of vendors sell shelves like these, and so you can mix and match, you can add different modular things, right?
Absolutely. You can go right to the Container Store, shameless plug.
Yeah.
And I think the Alpha system works right in with this.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to the guest bedroom then.
Terrific.
Thanks.
Boy.
All right. All right, so now the guest bedroom. What do you think?
Again, a really good sized room for New York City and getting really nice light, so it's good bones to work with. A few things that I might change. These doors, a little unconventional. They might not work so well for some people. Some people might prefer a traditional just swing door that can latch close. We have a closet here. Good size, but can maybe be improved upon. And I think in one move we can address both of these things. We're coming in at an angle here, which could be a little uncomfortable for some people. If we take this wall and continue it out, Then we take this wall and continue it out to square off the room.
Interesting.
And continue that to relocate the closet here.
Below the air conditioner.
Below the air conditioner.
Right.
We can then recapture this space to put in a new standard 3-foot door into the room.
Great.
And I think that that would feel better for a lot of people.
And bigger too, maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Having unusual angles gives the illusion of a room feeling smaller. So by squaring off the room, I think it'll feel larger and you'll have more storage. So now we have this air conditioner here, which is not the most beautiful thing in the world. Yes?
Okay, sure.
We can build out the closet, have the doors come up to here, but just like we had that decorative screening in our window seat in the master bedroom,
Right.
we can put the same screening here above the closet doors so that we don't have to relocate the air conditioner, we don't have to sacrifice the air conditioning, but we also don't have to see it and we don't have to give up space for that new closet.
Great idea. Yeah, fantastic.
Moving into furniture for this room, and as you alluded to before, working from home is the new normal.
Right.
I think it makes a lot of sense to use this room as a combination guest room and home office. So that means locating, and it's really based on the preference of the person working and their relationship of their screen to daylight. A video editor's not going to want light on their screen,
Right.
whereas an accountant might not mind.
Right.
But having a nice generous desk in here
Yeah.
and a sofa that pulls out with a sofa bed. So again, you have the functionality when you need or want it, and you don't when you don't. And that preserves an open area in the floor that this can also be used as an exercise room.
Great idea. Fantastic. Well, let's head on down the hall, shall we?
Terrific.
Perfect. Thanks. Let's take a look at the kitchen. Yeah?
Absolutely. So what a great historic kitchen. We see, Viking appliances, stainless steel sink, ample storage, good size, especially for New York City. There are some things that can be improved upon, but even as is, this is definitely more than is needed for any New Yorker to be very satisfied. That being said, let's talk about some things that we can upgrade with it. The first thing that I would do is take out this wall. We all know that islands and breakfast bars are where the industry has been for the last 8 years or so.
Right.
And I think that's really appropriate here because beyond, which I know we'll get to, we have this big, beautiful, light-filled living room. You want to feel connected to it while you're in the kitchen. You want a sense of great room, especially if you're going to be entertaining. Another reason to take that wall out is that our entrance is quite narrow here, and that could be a little uncomfortable for some people. But by removing these walls and putting in an island, we can make a nice, generous entrance into the kitchen space.
Great.
Follow me back through.
Okay.
So, wood countertops, wood cabinets, living in this post-COVID world, these aren't the most resilient materials from a hygiene and a sanitizing point of view. Visually, they're not the most current, but more importantly is durability and managing germs. So I would actually knock out all of this. Even here, we have a pull-out refrigerator and pull-out freezer. Again, adequate for some New Yorkers, but if you're a chef, you're gonna want a full-size refrigerator, full-size freezer, you're gonna want a dishwasher, you're gonna want state-of-the-art range. So we can renovate this whole thing to do that. Put a big, beautiful refrigerator in over here so it's away from the main line of traffic. We can even keep the sink for the most part where it is, but go with an undermount stainless steel sink, again, so you can just sweep any dirt, any crumbs right in, more hygienic.
Good idea.
Keep your gas lines where they are. It's costly to move and not necessary, but put in a big, beautiful, full range.
Right.
You'll still have prep space here, and remember, you'll have this whole island. And any storage you're losing for your fridge, you'll gain it twofold under your island.
Makes sense.
So I think this kitchen has tremendous potential.
Wonderful, thanks. Well, how about the living room?
The living room is another great, big, open, bright space. Again, New York City, this is a lot of space.
Yeah.
And we have access to another terrace, which is fantastic.
That's right.
Now, one of the things you notice in the living room is this scalloped wall. We have a series of kind of niches and undulations here, probably for structure. And that might be off-putting to some people, but we can use that to help create different zones within the room in a way that makes sense and makes it feel deliberate. What do I mean by that? This largest one, we can say, is the living room area proper. Sofas, love seat, TV, coffee table. We can do opposing sofas for entertaining parties with a TV on the wall.
Yeah.
You could do a sectional. It's really whatever your heart's desire, there's enough room to accommodate it. This next niche, to me, speaks of dining room. And again, living in this COVID world, sometimes you'll be able to entertain, other times maybe not. So expanding tables, flexible furniture, something that can seat maybe 2, at most 4 people in a default position,
and then leaves.
but can expand to 8 or 10 when you want to entertain. This smallest niche here is perfect for a writing desk, maybe a bookcase on each side. I always say the couple that works from home separately stays together. So we have one home office in the guest bedroom. We can have another one right here, so no one feels like they're encroaching on anyone else.
Sounds great. Makes a lot of sense.
Still plenty of room for circulation for that island with some bar stools and easy access to your second terrace.
Speaking of that, let's head outside again.
Fantastic. Feels good to take the mask off.
It does, yeah, finally, and be outdoors again in this beautiful weather. So spectacular terrace, right? And you have both views, and so you've got the eastern view behind you, know, and also this northern view as well. So you have the Chrysler Building, you know, MetLife, One Vanderbilt, the Midtown skyline. So
fantastic, and even just having this park with these trees, I always think that it just does you really good to be able to see a bit of green every day, and it's such a rare privilege in Manhattan to have that.
Would you have any ideas for this terrace?
Absolutely. So even though this is off the living room, because it's a little smaller and a little more sheltered being in the corner of the building, this has a more intimate feel. To me, this is where you come with your morning cup of coffee right off the kitchen. Maybe there's just a big comfy chair for 1 or 2, a little table. Maybe it's the hammock that's in the shade under the windows.
That's a great idea.
But again, you have these great railings that we can decorate as you like. Since you're less likely to entertain publicly on this one, this might be the better spot for your home garden.
Yeah.
But I think that this is a really fantastic and intimate outdoor space.
And I think with the angular, theme again here, you have different depth. And so if you want to put, with your idea, greenery or Christmas tree lights or whatever around these 4 different bars, you see different levels of them as you go back in the distance. And so
definitely. Also, this longer, narrower piece is fantastic for bicycle storage if you happen to be a cyclist.
Right. So maybe now getting more broad to our audience's ideas and questions about their own projects or their own home search or whatever. What would a client who's a buyer, or maybe they already own something, but what should they think about in selecting and judging, an architect and interior designer? What qualities should they think of?
find someone who listens. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, if I'm working with a client on their space, it's not about what would I do if the space were mine. It's about translating my client's vision and even turning up the volume on it to what they can't even dream possible, but is still uniquely theirs. I think you should also look for someone who is very transparent in terms of their billing, in terms of their schedule. Again, it's the nuts and bolts that aren't the fun part of design, but you have to have trust, and you should work with someone who deserves that.
So a good listener, trust, you know, someone who's transparent about things, makes sense. What else is your unique operating philosophy? I'm sure these are part of yours,
Definitely.
you know, but what else, and kind of what's your process in producing the final product that might be different from other architects and interior designers?
Absolutely. One thing you might not know about me is that I'm also a trained yoga teacher and meditation instructor.
I didn't know that.
So I like to bring some of the skills from that world to my design practice. So I start every project with a series of visualization exercises that are almost like meditations on your new space. And it's a very low pressure way to understand not only what you're thinking, but what you're feeling about your space. Once I know that, I can start to work through the design. I am very keen to have meetings with my client at every step of getting increasingly specific. And I always bring my client's choice, a carefully curated set of options, because the final selection should always be the client's choice. Again, it's your money, it's your space. You should choose. I'm just here to guide you. Additionally, as you know, I offer architecture and interior design and personal home shopping services. So if we're working on your dining room, I can help you with everything from where should the walls go, to what is the flooring and lighting, to what is the furniture, to what is the flatware and glassware, to create a completely comprehensive vision. And I think there are a lot of firms that will do pieces of that.
Right.
So a client has to go to multiple sources to get what they need. I personally think it's easier to just have one-stop shopping.
One-stop shopping sounds you know, like it sums it up, everything that you do. You've described hard skills, I think, in a way. You know, architecture, mathematics, I'm sure, go a lot in this. Softer skills in terms of the design, and maybe even a spiritual piece or an energy connection with the client piece as well.
Definitely.
With your yoga experience, your yoga instructor experience too, that you employ as well in your business. And so, complete package is what it sounds like. So, right.
I try.
Sounds good. How does a client best prepare to work with an architect or an interior designer?
Figure out your schedule. Figure out, do those numbers include design fees, or do you have something else set aside for that? Does your schedule include time for permitting and approvals if that's necessary for an architecture project? Does it include time for long lead items?
Right.
For architecture or interior design? Know your nuts and bolts, because while I or any other designer can advise on that, those choices are completely up to you.
Right.
And the sooner I know that, the sooner I can give you satisfying answers and responses. The other thing I would tell people, and if they take away anything from this video today, would be this.
Yeah.
HGTV is not real. Projects don't happen that quickly. The budget numbers aren't real, especially in New York City. I cannot give you something start to finish in 6 months for $40,000. It's just not real.
In contrast to Jacob E. Miles' YouTube channel is real, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, that makes sense. Thanks very much. So it sounds like parameters, budgets, constraints, basically, for the project, and the big side is what's very important. What are some simple do-it-yourself things that a client can do that can have a big impact if they don't have a budget for someone as talented and qualified as you? What can they do on a few $100s or something on their own?
So I love this question because I am a huge DIYer, and
Okay.
I actually DIY and transform some things for my clients because I believe in customization. So One of my most favorite things in the world is removable vinyl surface covering, aka contact paper. Now, some of your viewers might be familiar with this. I promise this is not your mother's drawer lining. Contact paper has come so far in terms of quality, variety, you know, typology, you name it, you can find something for everything. There is incredibly realistic marble contact paper that you can put on tabletops or shelves that instantly upgrade your item. There are graphic patterns that are beautiful on whole walls or just as faux headboards, or lining a bookcase that really adds some color and pizzazz to a space.
Okay.
There's even tiles that you can put on bathroom floors. If you don't like your flooring and you can't afford to replace it, you can change the look in half an hour, and anyone can do it.
Ingenious.
Also, chalk paint. The unsung hero, you can find it at Michael's, another shameless plug. It is completely non-toxic. You don't need any surface prep, so you can even paint IKEA furniture with it and it won't peel off.
Okay.
If your space has next to no ventilation, it's not a problem. And again, you can't really mess it up. So you have a piece of furniture that's looking a little dull and you're like, you know what? Pop a color, let me make it bright turquoise.
Right.
Easy peasy, huge impact, low cost.
Reminds me of what some people in the suburbs at least do with their swimming pools when they could have a concrete swimming pool, or they could have a vinyl swimming pool with different tiles, so to speak, or designs on the vinyl. So, so that's interesting. What do you think will be the future then for architecture and interior design in New York City?
I think we're already starting to see it, and that twofold: flexibility and an increased focus in sustainability. Okay. Particularly because of COVID and with people working from home and with gyms being closed and people trying to exercise from home, especially in tight spaces, although this apartment has ample opportunities to do that.
Right.
I think we're going to see more and more furniture that folds up, shifts in size, coffee tables that can pull up and expand to become dining tables. So that way the space can change as your needs for it change throughout the day.
Right.
Additionally, people are becoming increasingly interested in the economic and social sustainability of their materials, be it building materials like recycled steel or certified wood, or, you know, fair trade textiles and ceramics. People are caring more and more about where they're getting their materials, and that's a trend that just thrills me down to the ground.
And I think what you said, especially your first point about flexibility, I think parallels a lot with what's going on right now and what we expect for the future in residential real estate trends for New York City. Buyers and tenants, and also sellers and landlords too, I guess for that matter, are looking for more virtual with listings. They want to do more things themselves. So we talked a little bit about do it yourself also with architecture. But people want 3D exposure. So there's a brand called Matterport, for example, that produces a 3D camera that's very similar to Google Street View, where you can slide down the street and sort of look up and down with your mouse and all that. We can do that, and in fact, I do this for my listings. And so that allows someone to tour a property online in 3D before they actually come in person. So that's one trend, and I'm sure that'll continue going forward. But just like in your industry, I think there'll always be a need for expert consulting. So an architect or a broker, that has decades of experience in both of our cases, I think, who can help guide a client, connect the dots, and read between the lines. And so I think that'll be very important. Who could use architectural or interior design services, including people who don't know that they could use it? Who can use it?
The short answer is everyone.
All right.
So much like with a broker or any other professional, expert opinions have value and save you in the long run.
Right.
Despite my hair completely blowing around in my face right now, I'm not going to try to cut it myself. I go to a hairstylist who's been trained.
Right.
When it's time to do my taxes, I don't try to do it myself. I see an accountant who's a professional and who's been trained.
Right.
Not only will things get done to a higher level of quality and faster, but there's less likelihood of making costly mistakes that could be costly on multiple fronts, not just financial.
Right.
So I think architects and interior designers are like any other professional service in that regard, that anyone can benefit. You know, of course you can go online and you can order furniture for yourself, but when it shows up, you know, is there a guarantee that you're gonna have enough clearance between your sofa and your coffee table?
Right.
Is it clear that you're buying something that meets your performance requirements? You know, are you going to get stuck in a permitting and approval process with the city that loses you months on the back end? These are all things that a design professional can assist with. And speaking just for myself, I'm always happy to hop on a call with someone, even if it's only for 30 or 60 minutes, to help them figure out how to best arrange what they already have to increase their quality of life in their space. We all benefit from outside professional advice.
Makes perfect sense. Any concluding remarks as we sort of wrap up, running out of time?
Just a huge thank you. This has been such a treat, and I hope some of what I've shared today has been helpful for your viewers.
Well, thank you again so much, Madelaine Mayer. You know, wearing so many hats, a Jane of all trades, if I may say, a registered architect, member of the American Institute of Architects, a LEED accredited professional, faculty, professor, basically, at NYU and New York School of Interior Design, and also the owner of your own business, Adroit. What does that stand for again, the acronym? Architecture and Design to Reinvent, Organize, Inspire, and Transform. Fantastic. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing all of your expertise and volunteering your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Madelaine Mayer. I'm Jacob B. Miles, licensed associate real estate broker at Brown Harris Stevens. You're watching on my YouTube channel, Jacob B. Miles, and the website is by the same name.com. We really appreciate your time. Feel free to leave comments or subscribe, and we'll certainly have more videos and more interviews coming forward. This is the first of a series, so again, thank you very much for your time and for watching. Appreciate it. See you soon. Bye-bye.